Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. During a session today, I asked a question I'd never asked before. What are you sad about? Well, the client raised a number of new issues about a relationship, about an ailment, and even about the meaning of it all. I then asked a friend the same question, which also unearthed new and surprising concerns. I then asked myself the same question, and it also was evocative. So, what are you sad about? It may be easier to answer that question if it's posed within categories and with an example. Let's start with work, which can be a source of sadness, of course. So let's say you're unhappy with your lack of agency. You feel like a marionette, a constrained cog in a very large wheel, whether a corporation, a nonprofit, in government, or simply as being a mere mortal, one person scrambling amid 8 billion other people, a mere grain of sand on an enormous beach. What might your wiser twin suggest you do? Maybe it's to tweak your job or to change it. Maybe it's to take pleasure in life's simple things, kindness to another person, appreciation of a flower, or as I just experienced, an unexpected zephyr. So, is there something you're unhappy about in your work life or lack thereof? What, if anything, do you want to do about it? Another potential source of unhappiness is romantic relationships. Let's say you're lamenting the decline in your relationship's sex life. As bad, your desire is declining while your partner's remains robust. What might your wiser twin tell you to do? Have a conversation with your partner? Maintain an experimental mindset in which you try something, if it doesn't work, you try something else? Or accept the problem as unfixable? So, is there something about your romantic relationship that you're unhappy with? And what, if anything, would you like to do about it? Another potential source of unhappiness is platonic relationship. Let's say you lack a close friend. You might think about whether to put yourself in an environment where you're likely to meet a kindred spirit. Maybe it's a class or a political forum or some socially distanced outdoor gathering. Or you might take a step to deepening an existing relationship. For example, by asking a not superficial question or two, and also seeing what happens if you reveal something of at least moderate intimacy. So, is there anything about your platonic relationships that you're unhappy about? And is there anything you want to do about it? Another potential source of unhappiness is familial relationship. For example, maybe you're unhappy about being estranged from a family member. Would the wise one within you reach out to that person? Have an intermediary do it? Decide to wait for a more propitious time? Or decide that the relationship is permanently estranged? Or that you're wise to not try to patch things up, at least for now? Another potential source of unhappiness is money. For example, maybe fueled by pandemic cabin fever, you're spending too much. Would the god or goddess within you tell you to cut back on a specific expense, to cut more broadly, or to decide that the benefits of the spending are worth it? So, is there anything related to money that you're unhappy about? Is there something that your best self wants to do about it? Another potential source of unhappiness, of course, is physical health. For example, let's say you've put on some weight amid the pandemic. The thoughtful you might decide to diet, or to simply be more conscious about each bite, or to accept the weight gain for now, hoping that COVID too will pass. So, is there anything about your physical health that makes you sad? Anything you want to do about it? Another potential source of sadness is, of course, mental health. For example, let's say your sadness is infecting more and more of your daily life. Might you want to do things that have made you happier? For example, a friendship, work, a hobby. So, is there something about your mental health that's making you sad? What, if anything, do you want to do about it? Perhaps ironically, recreation can be a source of sadness. For example, let's say you love to travel, but have had to put that on hold because of the pandemic. Would the risk-reward ratio be acceptable if you did one or more of the following? Got vaccinated, took a car rather than airplane trip, or made it a day trip so you didn't have to stay in a hotel, which might be COVID riskier. So, is there anything in your recreational life that's making you sad? And if so, is there anything you want to do about it? And finally, a source of unhappiness is the existential. For example, let's say you loathe yourself, globally or because of specific things you've done. Might you want to inventory your strengths, review your past accomplishments and other things you've done that you feel a little proud of? Or should you treat the self-loathing not as all negative, but as fuel to drive your self-improvement? So, is there anything existential that's making you sad? And is there anything you want to do about it? Alas, sadness is a part of life, but its extent isn't immutable. Maybe something in this little talk will help you identify a step toward replacing a bit of sadness with a bit of happiness, or at least of contentment. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.